What's up, guys? Coming up just around the corner, we're going to be diving into the Vikings trading for Josh Dobbs. But right after we recorded that, the Vikings just sent Ezra Cleveland to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th-round pick. Obviously, we know that Dalton Risner has been stepping in at left guard with Ezra being banged up, and Dalton Risner's played great, so he's really earned that spot. But Vikings make 2 big-time moves. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah getting active today. But hey, Ezra Cleveland going to the Jags for a 6th. They also traded for Josh Dobbs, which we are going to be breaking down here in just a second. But make sure you guys are subscribed. But now let's get into today's video. Josh Dobbs, you are officially a Minnesota Viking. Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, he decided to make a move at the quarterback position after, obviously, we all know Kirk Cousins did end up suffering a season-long injury to his Achilles. But hey, we got him. Joshua Dobbs is going to be the quarterback for the Vikings. First off, I do want to say this. Kevin O'Connell already kind of came out and said that Jaren Hall should be starting against the Atlanta Falcons, but Josh Dobbs will be ready to go. But moving on in the future, the games after the Falcons, I kind of fully expect this guy to be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Hey, Kwesi made a move. You're talking about it the past couple of days. What will the Vikings decide to do with the trade deadline here? They decided Josh Dobbs is their guy. We kick at the Rappaport right now. He was the one that broke it down. He said the Vikings are trading for Arizona Cardinals quarterback Josh Dobbs. He's got plenty of starting experience, and it helps make up for the loss of Kirk Cousins, and it gives Minnesota a chance. And I agree. And actually, one little tidbit, too. Dobbs, the offense he was running in Arizona, very similar to the offense Kevin O'Connell runs. So it's going to be a good scheme fit for them. Won't take him that long to kind of pick up on the playbook. Obviously, he's got to understand, like, the cadences and, like, the buzzwords that they use. But I think this is a good fit, and I'll give you guys my thoughts here in a second. But, hey, this is why you hit that subscribe button. Anytime a move ends up going down around the Minnesota Vikings, I want to be your go-to YouTube channel. I freaking love this football team. Love talking about this football team. And, hey, this is going to be a hell of a year, man. The season's not over. We're 4-4 on a 3-game win streak. Obviously fighting some adversity right now, but we're going to bounce back. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And let's break it down, man. Let's break it down. Josh Dobbs, this guy right here, your newest quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And, listen, I've watched Dobbs play a couple of games this year, specifically the Giants game. Listen, this dude's got some mobility with him. He obviously doesn't have the accuracy and, anticipation that like a guy like Kirk Cousins has, but he can make plays. He's more of a backyard football player in comparison to obviously Kirk Cousins is like that statuesque, like the play's on time and it's on target, like he's hitting that throw every time. Josh Dobbs kind of has some backyard quarterbacks, so we're going to get a whole different feel from the quarterback position. But in terms of some trade details here, so very interesting. So we've been seeing this trade go down in the NFL a lot this year, where the team acquiring a player will also get a 7th-round pick and they send a 6th-round pick. But this 7th-round pick is a conditional 7th-round pick, so it could turn to a 6th for the Minnesota Vikings. I think it obviously depends if Josh Dobbs, let's just say he doesn't play at all, and like, let's just say alternate reality right now. Like Jaren Hall goes out there, he goes for 404 against the Falcons, and they're like, all right, well, we got to ride the hot hand. And then Josh Dobbs obviously doesn't end up playing for the Vikes. That will turn into a 6. But, hey, man, Josh Dobbs has actually had a decent year so far. I mean, obviously, the numbers aren't going to blow you away. But what he's done with a terrible Cardinals roster, like they have an awful offensive line, not a big fan of their play calling. Like he has nothing to work around him. And the dude's put up 8 touchdowns, 5 picks. 63% completion percentage. Him as a pure thrower, he's not up there in like the top guys in the league, obviously, but he has that dual threat ability. He has that playmaker in him. He's got that backyard football. And, hey, man, Josh Dobbs, he's bounced around. Remember before the year, he joined the Cardinals 2 weeks before the season started, and he had to pick up on that playbook. So I think he's an absolute gamer, and I'm actually a big fan of this move. And what I'm the biggest fan of is that the Vikings can be able to offer him a great support system, man. Like, we talk about the Vikings offensive line this year. They have been fantastic. Like Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill, number 1 left tackle in the league according to PFF, number 1 right tackle in the league according to PFF. Offensive line's been great, with obviously Dalton Risner stepping in at left guard. They have dominated the Niners and the Packers the last 2 weeks. I absolutely love this O-line. They're really starting to get it going, especially Ed Ingram as well. So they will be able to protect him up front. And I'll tell you what, the Vikings got some unreal weapons, man. We've seen the emergence of Jordan Addison. 7 touchdowns on the year. He's been almost having 100 yards a game since Jefferson went out. I mean, and also TJ Hawkinson taking that next step. We just saw KJ Osborne go for 100 yards last week, so the weapons are there. I mean, he's going to have a great O-line, great weapons to throw to. Josh Dobbs, he's going to play the best football of his career. And also the defense, last 3 weeks, holding teams to under 20 points. So if you're able to tell Dobbs, hey, go get us to 21, get us to 28, this defense will be the backbone. The Vikings could win some games this year. So I like this move so far because of the support system. Then also the icing on the cake here, you got the young offensive head coach in Kevin O'Connell. Yes, I have been critical of KOC a little bit this year, especially with him maybe not being as aggressive as I would like to in certain spots, especially against Green Bay last week. But hey, man, I mean, he pulled out 3 straight victories without the best player or without the best non-quarterback in the league, in my opinion, in Justin Jefferson. So I think Kevin O'Connell's turning around, very creative mind, and I'm excited to see what KOC is going to do with a quarterback that has mobility. So, man, Vikings going to be offering a great support system. It's going to come down to see if Josh Dobbs can get it done. But let me know, what is your one-word reaction? When you got this notification, give me a one-word reaction to the Josh Dobbs trade. Mine was probably just, my one word was excited. I'll go with that because I am excited. I'm very optimistic about this season. He's a very optimistic player. You can kind of talk yourself into it, especially with what the Vikings will have around him. But, guys, I do want to give you guys a quick shout-out to Prize Picks, today's sponsor of today's edition of Vikings Now. Prize Picks, guys, it's daily fantasy made easy. It's simple. All you do, you pick 2 or more players, you choose more or less on their projected stat types, and you guys can start rolling in the dough today. This is the lineup I'm rolling with this weekend in the NFL. Mahomes, I'll never choose less on his passing yards. I'm going more, 295.5. Then Jordan Love, he's just not good at football. I'm going to go less than 223.5 yards. And then this is my favorite one right here. Taysom Hill. I'm going more than half a passing yard this week. That's it. He just needs to complete one 1-yard pass, and I'll be rolling in the cash. So if you guys want to fade my picks or if you guys want to ride my picks, make sure you guys do it at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS and you'll get a first deposit match up to $100. Link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. All right, let's close our thoughts here on just Josh Dobbs' trade. Listen, at first, a little disappointed that obviously we were not going to see Jaren Hall play. But, obviously, Kevin O'Connell, they've seen him every day in training camp. They've seen him every day in practice. Maybe they just said, listen, he's not ready. And we have a win-now roster in their minds and in their eyes. So let's go get a proven veteran who's been around the block and can maybe scrap together some wins here. And, guys, listen, we saw Nick Foles go win a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Like, we've seen crazier things happen. Like, the Vikings have a good 53-man roster. And we'll make this point. Kirk Cousins last 2 weeks, best football of his career, no doubt. He killed the Niners. He killed the Packers. Was it him or was it the team around him? Because I'll tell you what, the offensive line the last couple of weeks has been giving him all types of time on these 3rd and longs where he has been so effective. And also, the Vikings schedule, the upcoming schedule for the Vikings is very beatable. Like, you got the 4-4. You had that big upset victory against the San Francisco 49ers. But, man, this schedule really opens up for the Vikings. Like, we got the win against the Green Bay Packers. Now look at this. Like, the Atlanta Falcons. I fully expect the Vikings to beat the Falcons and go in there and get a victory. Let's just say you do. You go to 5-4. The Saints at home, I think the Saints are the most fraudulent team in the NFL at 4-4. I think they could beat them. These 2 teams are a joke. So let's just say you rip off 4 in a row and you get to 8-4 on the season. Oh, and guess who's also week 13? It's the Raiders. They look like one of the worst football teams. So the Vikings have a very strong chance. Maybe you don't get the 9-4 and win all 5, but you get the 8-5. I'll take it. You got a good chance to make the playoffs there. So, listen, I love this move. And, hey, if any more moves happen today, we will have a video out on the channel or at least a short. But, man, Josh Dobbs is a Minnesota Vikings quarterback. Is the season back on? Is the Super Bowl back on? You guys let me know down in the comment section. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be live for the game this Sunday, so make sure you guys are subscribed. See you guys later. Skol Vikes, baby.